saw what it was. There on the valley side, a young lamb came fully into view, prancing a chaotic gambol between the tussocks of fescue. As she watched, it suddenly bolted behind a copse of stunted trees as if frightened. Sarah's nerves jangled. What had driven it away? Was there somebody else close by? Another human being? Sarah tensed, then relaxed as she saw the lamb emerge into the open once again, this time escorted by its mother, who chewed vacantly as the youngster began to nuzzle her flank. It was a false alarm, but there was little hint of relief or of amusement in Sarah's face. Her eyes didn't stay on the lamb as it began to scamper around again, its fleece fresh as virgin cotton wool, in marked contrast to its mother's coarse, mud-streaked coat. There was no room for such diversions in Sarah's life, not now, not ever. She was already checking the opposite side of the valley, scouring it for anything that didn't fit. Then she was off again, picking her way through the Celtic stillness of the lush green vegetation and over the smooth slabs of stone, until she came to a stream nestled in the crook of the valley. Without a moment's hesitation, she strode straight into the crystal-clear waters, altering her course to that of the stream, and sometimes using the moss-covered rocks as stepping stones when they afforded her a faster means through it. As the level of the water rose, threatening to seep in over the tops of her shoes, she hopped back onto the bank, which was carpeted with a springy green pad of sheep-cropped grass. Still, she maintained the same unrelenting pace, and, before long, a rusted wire fence came into view, then the raised farm track that she knew ran behind it. She spotted what she'd come for. Where the farm track intersected the stream, there stood a crude stone bridge, its sides crumbling and badly in need of repair. Her course beside the stream was taking her straight toward it, and she broke into a trot in her haste to get there. Within minutes, she had arrived at her destination. Ducking under the bridge, she paused to wipe the moisture from her eyes. Then she crossed to the other side, where she held completely still as she studied the horizon. The evening was drawing in, and the rose-tinged glow of newly lit street lamps was just beginning to filter through a screen of oak trees which hid all but the tip of the church steeple in the distant village. She returned to a point halfway along the underside of the bridge, stooping as her hair snagged on the rough stone above. She located an irregular block of granite which was slightly proud of the surface. With both hands, she began to pry it out, levering it left and right, then up and down until it came free. It was the size and weight of several house bricks, and she grunted with the effort as she bent to place it on the ground by her feet. Straightening up, she peered into the void, then inserted her arm all the way to her shoulder and groped around inside. Her face pressed against the stonework, she found a chain which she tried to pull down on. It was stuck fast. Tug as she might, she couldn't move it. She swore, and taking a deep breath, braced herself for another attempt. This time, it gave. For a second, nothing happened as she continued to pull one-handed on the chain. Then she heard a sound like distant thunder emanating from deep within the bridge. Before her, hitherto invisible joints broke open with a spray of mortar dust and dried lichen, and an uneven door-sized hole opened before her as a section of the wall lifted back, then up. After a final thud that made the whole bridge quake, all was silent again except for the gurgle of the stream and the patter of rain. Stepping into the gloomy interior, she took a small key-ring flashlight from her coat pocket and switched it on. The dim circle of light revealed she was in a chamber some 50 feet square, with a ceiling that was sufficiently high to allow her to stand upright. She glanced around, registering the dust motes as they drifted lazily through the air, and the cobwebs, as thick as rotted tapestries, which festooned the tops of the walls. It had been built by Sarah's great-great-grandfather in the year before he'd taken his family underground for a new life in the colony. A master stonemason by trade, he'd drawn on